time when we were going through the Cuba Missile Crisis, and we were having issues with Russia. And the U.S. wanted to get involved in the Congo, so Africa would not become quote unquote communist. And so our first prime minister, Patrice Lumumba, he was like the equivalent of George Washington.
Okay.
The country loved him. He had the same philosophy as our founding fathers. They wanted to be free. They wanted to establish the country as an independent country, to have the citizens have upward mobility, and etc.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the turning point of within the country's history. He gets assassinated in the coordination with the USA CIA. The USA CIA denied it for decades, and in 2016 they released files that they were directly involved. And even now, sometimes the U.S. tries to change the facts of what actually happened.
They try to whitewash the history of it.
Yeah,
really.
And growing up in the USA, moving to the US and seeing how much propaganda we get fed into a school system, it's actually pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty scary. So
you talking about here in the States?
Yeah. The history we get told you is
oh, absolutely,
alternative facts. That's how I like to say it. And so so Patrice Lumumba gets assassinated by the U.S. They firing squad in coordination with some Europeans chop his body up in 2 pieces, and they throw his body in cyanide. The only thing that's left of his body is his tooth. So imagine that happening to like George Washington. It'd be insane.
Wow.
So he's
Did you know this?
I didn't know that part.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's pretty savage.
CIA had, or U.S. anything?
I did know that part.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know the cyanide part, chopping his body up.
Yeah, because they didn't want to, they didn't want him to become a murderer, and they wanted to kind of dispose of that and just move on. So they instilled someone that was a sympathizer to the U.S. cause and the West's cause, and that was Mobutu Sese Seko. This is controversial, but I think as a man you have to stand for something. He was a puppet. He was a puppet, but he was a puppet that brought stability because the West didn't interfere as much, because he gave them whatever land rights, mineral rights. He gave them what they asked for, and so fast forward.
Strong arm of the U.S. government can persuade people to do things like that.
Yeah. The U.S. government, the Israeli government, some Western European countries. It's the times we live in. You're unfortunately you're either the hammer or the nail in these situations. But the sad thing is, when these things happen, humanity loses out. Like humanity loses out on the potential of what we can actually achieve together. So I hope we can evolve over time as humans to like go beyond this petty. There's enough land for everyone. There's enough water for everyone. There's more than enough food. Money, the concept of money we made up and we're killing over it. It's we can do better. So he gets killed. The country becomes unstable. Mobutu gets made the president. He rules with an iron fist for over 30 years. Gets cancer. I think it was colon cancer. Gets flown to Morocco in 1997. Dies. And when he dies, it's just like the nail in the coffin. Well, what I mean by that, the country was starting to become unstable because they knew that something was about to happen to the president. He was sick. So he dies, and then at the same time in 1994, there's a nearby country called Rwanda. I was living about a mile away from Rwanda. It was crazy. The craziest thing you can imagine. Rwanda falls into the most vicious civil war and genocide in modern history. Within 100 days, 800,000 people are killed. Like the country itself I think had less than 4 million people. So I think it was close to a third or fourth of the country gets decimated in 100 days.
That is unbelievable. And you lived right near that.
Yeah, I lived through it. It was.
There's the Kivu right there.
Yeah, right there. So
don't
you
tell
see
anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Secret.
Yeah, Lake Kivu was right there.
And there's Rwanda.
Yeah, when there's right next door. It's beautiful. So
Mm.
yeah, that area is just. Yeah, I can't wait to go to spend more time in that area. Africa is just an incredible place.
What was the name of the town that you grew up in?
Bukavu, you can see it in
Is
the
it?
top left corner next to. Uh, it says Walungu Nizaba Makombo. Bukavu is like, you see where it says Nyongwe Forest. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Bottom, not in the bottom. You're passing it. You're passing it very bottom. Chiagungu, Bukavu. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Right there?
Yep.
Oh, Bukavu.
Right there on the water.
That one.
Bukavu, yep.
Right near the water.
Yep, it was just that's why I asked you earlier before we started rolling, like what was it like growing up in the US in the 80s and the 90s,
Uh-huh.
because yeah, growing up in Bukavu was just so
Yeah,
it
what
was
was
like it was like the Garden of Eden, but like it was just so beautiful and life was so simple.
Really?
Yeah, just like you'd walk down the street and mangoes and avocados just falling. You just grab it.
Oh,
Everyone takes
wow.
what they need. Yeah, it's really emotional talking about this thing because when you go back and you see the decimation that war can cause, it's like disturbing. So yeah, the war starts. So you're having Rwanda over here that's going through a genocide.
Mm.
800,000 people killed in 100 days. So you're seeing people like like running for their lives, like literally running with their everything that they own, their beds, their bed sheets on top of their heads. They're running to your country. You're confused, like what's going on? You don't know that they're running for their lives. That causes a lot of instability. So in 1995, 1996, war breaks out. It's a combination of interstate war, so it's like different countries, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and stuff coming into the DRC. It's militia war, so the state government. So imagine the U.S. government starts fighting like MS-13, or the U.S. government is fighting like one of these like drug gangs.
Trinidad, who we just blew up and coming out of Venezuela.
Yeah. So imagine like they were to somehow break through the U.S. border and they come in and start causing chaos, just murdering people. So you have and then you have interstate war, where you're having other countries outside of Africa coming in, also destabilizing. So it seemed like it happened like that. The country just like falls into like rough times, and yeah. So fast forward, God blesses us. We were fortunate. We move to Uganda, and then from Uganda, we come to U.S. And I came here as a kid. I was like about 10 years old, in London, Indiana. I'm like,
Indiana.
I go from like the continent where it's 99% black and African to where all of a sudden I'm the minority in Indianapolis.
But that was kind of an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy.